Welcome, Saints Nation, to a lovely Monday night here at the casting desk. I am your host and caster for today, Wyatt Swag Studios Rapson. Joined with me is my lovely friend who I have been anxiously waiting to get on the desk
been a
with,
little while.
is the Patrick Smoke Chambers. And how are we feeling? We've been waiting for this for so long to get on the desk to cast, not just cast, but in general, but to cast Rocket League, which is what we've got for the people at home tonight. How are you feeling, Patrick?
I'm feeling absolutely amazing. I'm so excited tonight. We got NACE Rocket League, got St. Clair College Green going up against ISU. For those who don't know, that's Illinois State University. And man, they both have very star-studded rosters. Speaking of which, let's get to look at some of them right about now as we have the transition. Boom, it's so clean. Look at all that. We got Arju, Jazzy, and Zai for the green team. These guys have been absolutely phenomenal. They've been tearing it up in the spring season, especially in CRL. And not even just that, RLCS as well. We mentioned especially the exclamation point on Arju on Team Evo. They're currently actually in contention to make that Birmingham major, depending on what this next NARLCS Open looks like. I mean, why, that is just absolutely incredible. I mean, congratulations to Arju and Shuffleverse, for those who don't know the coach. But again, I just think that's incredible that we have that star-studded talent on our very own collegiate roster, and they've been an absolute joy to watch throughout the entire semester so far.
Yeah, to think I'm just a couple of steps away from the guy who might be going over to Birmingham to play in the RLCS for NA. I mean, I'm a big fan myself. I really just want to hop in his suitcase and go to Birmingham with him, but we can't do that. We've got to get through tonight. We've got to get through NACE, and we got to get through the Illinois State Redbirds. I mean, definitely a good team, and good to mention. They've been doing pretty well. Definitely not their best in current CRL standings, but what else do you have to share on that, Patrick?
Well, for that roster, as of right now, there is a potential that they could have a sub in for tonight, but if their starting roster stands, it should be CG, No Mansion, and S5 Cosmic. For those who are familiar with a couple of those names in the RLCS scene, if you are some heavy followers of that, you will recognize especially Cosmic, who was on some RLCS contending squads last year. But as of right now, don't believe that is the case, at least when it comes to top 8 or over. I know they have placed top 12 for CRL events, ISUs, I'm talking about, in the CRL Open 1 and 2. But as of right now, we're looking on the third open. They did not make that top 12 mark, so either something wrong happened or they just simply didn't play up to their standard. But the Saints, on the other hand, boy, have they had quite the season. I mean, when we really look at where their placements are, where their records are, you'll see it as it pops up soon. They are 2-0, undefeated in NACE so far. But, I mean, immediately, all top 4 finishes in those CRL Opens.
I mean, yeah, it's something that you have to mention. They went from first to third, now fourth in the last recent CRL event, which was actually just yesterday. I was casting that with Theo here on the desk, and it was an amazing game to watch. And they went all the way over to the top bracket of day 2, and sadly, they didn't make it to that top first place, second place position, but they still made top 4. Pats on the backs. Congratulations to the boys. But you know, Patrick, I don't want to seem like a doubter, and we had a little bit of this conversation before.
Yes.
Is the Saints have been performing very well. They went from first, now to third, down to fourth now. And I'm seeing a bit of a trend. I don't want to say it, but I'm seeing a trend, and I know you can see it too. They are still clutching on to that top 4 position, but it may slip from their grasp.
Yeah, I think that, again, if you're finishing top 4, I think something you really have to take into account is the other teams in the CRL right now. It is an absolutely stacked area to be in, especially with all the people from EU coming over. We talk about rosters like Maryville's roster right now, obviously the big standout of EXO coming over, right? Talk about rosters like Concord, Northwood, and Akron. They're both schools that have been performing exceptionally well, despite what the first CRL Open was telling a lot of people, which was, okay, so EU's just coming over and they're dominating everything. Nope. NA have proven that they can bite back, and yes, we are seeing these EU rosters still get very deep into these tournaments, but NA is showing that they still have some bite back as well. And when that happens, that just means you have an absolutely star-studded cast of rosters that you're having to go up against week in and week out when you're playing in these CRL Opens. And so far, through 3 of them, gotta say, especially with a first-place finish, I'm more than just fine at where we're at right now. All top 4 finishes, that's got to be the goal. Obviously, I know if you're on the team yourself, you obviously want to get first every single time. But looking at it from just a play it safe, play it cautious, play it smooth and sailing standpoint, top 4, I'm more than fine with that. And even if it slipped in that 4th open, I still think I'd be okay with it because they've just been, in my mind, very consistent on most ends of their game.
I have to agree with you on that, and I am also very comfortable with the Saints being in a top 4 position. The one thing that I have to take away from that, though, seeing the trend of them getting lower and lower and lower, is that other teams are starting to figure out what it is they're bringing to the table. Now, we do have a very good squad of Arju, Jazzy, and Sai, and in their first open, it showed. They came out champions, and none of the other teams could anticipate what they were going to bring to the table. Now, when we've just finished our third open, going into our fourth, they're starting to figure that out. People like Northwood are starting to come onto this and win championships back to back. The last 2 CRL Opens have been in their grasp, and I'm in no doubt in my mind they are definitely going to be a threat in NACE here. So there's a lot on the table for a lot of these teams, and a lot of teams are looking for it. I mean, what did we just see last Open? Maryville were down in like the roughs. They were in 5th and 6th positions, which definitely not where they're used to being. But then the Saints are getting towards that. They've got to come back together, I think, in my opinion, and they've got to adjust to how other teams have been combating what they bring to the table.
Yeah, I think honestly, because I casted the CRL Opens 1 and 2, obviously you've just had 3 under your belt as well. I think what I said, because we were trying to, I'll just deep dive into this actually real quick. I asked you, I said, what do you think the worst part about the Saints gameplay is? Where do you see that their gap is in, right? And of course, as just casters, we could definitely be incorrect on this, but we were just kind of shooting it a little bit, just back and forth of ideas. And I think what I came up with, especially from what I had casted and what I'd watched and how I'd followed it, is that their transitions, their rotations, sometimes are a little bit sloppy. And that's not necessarily a crazy thing to point out, but when you're going up against competition in the CRL and in NACE like this, right? Even the most minute detail that is a little bit off, teams will find ways to punish you for it. And I think, especially in transition, I've noticed a lot of the times that they're giving up open nets and open goals sometimes. There's not a person back, whether that be that someone's cutting rotation when they should be rotating to back post, or collecting some pads to just wait for the clear so they can bang it back out and allow for their first and second man to then, or sorry, their second and third man to then go back and collect boosts themselves. The problem is simple. It's that right now teams are able to outpace them when the Saints are trying to get back on defense. And you pointed out that you thought their major problem was they didn't have that defensive stellar rock.
I have to say that is one of their biggest flaws, is because we have a lot of great shooters, don't get me wrong, and especially you mentioned we have Arju, our newest player, definitely opens up a lot of opportunities for the rest of the team, for Jazzy and for Sai to shine, and then gets a couple of those opportunities himself, and that's great. Playing from the mid to the other opponent's end. But coming back into your own end, I think they've been lacking a little bit on their defensive prowess. It's been forcing players like Jazzy and like Sai into that defensive moment, those defensive scenarios where they are not normally like comfortable with it. Sai, in my opinion, is an all-out shooter. He is an absolute monster on the field when he can get enabled by his team to put balls in the goal in the other side of the net, and then also get shots on and apply that for the rest of his team, getting saves, getting passes, getting everything else. I think that can work for him. But when he's put in that situation where he has to deal with 1 or 2 attackers and then has to save a ball coming through to his net, I don't want to say he starts to crumble a little bit, but he's not normally in that position.
I think that for the most part, I will say I agree with you. The thing that I noticed with Arju the most is that he's very composed. Even on defense, he's always the first one to go to the backboard to make sure he has that position covered. There's not very much over the top that the Saints give up. If anything, it's their ability to pick up and intercept on elite passing teams. And I think that makes sense because the European players themselves, right, that EU playstyle, that pass first mentality, is sometimes very hard to track. And teams that are able to get it down well, yeah, you're going to do good. Against NA playstyle, I really think that they have it a lot more figured out because it's a lot more reliant on that solo play, right? There's less forcing for your teammates. There's less low 50s to force for opportunities for the man next up. And I feel like that just happens to just be better offense. So right now, I think, don't get me wrong, all three of the Saints players, they can show up on defense. And again, we are talking about a very talented group here. So whether, regardless of if I said they could or they couldn't, just for all you guys at home who are wondering, they even on their worst day, they'd still probably perform better than pretty much all of us. But I will go ahead and say that for St. Clair, if the defense is an issue, the one place that they haven't been lacking in is scoring.
Indeed. Now, all said and done, talk is out of the way, and the game is on the scoreboard. Ladies and gentlemen, St. Clair Saints versus Illinois State, your Redbirds. Let's see who can take the first game.
And right now, we see that as this early battle for midfield control is going to be a site that gets the pass down to CG. It's going to be an overarching ball, and the man to beat, the one up top, is No Mansion. Opens up the scoring, just like that, with the flip of a coin, 15 seconds in, put ISU on the board.
And we are going to figure out now that it is a substitute out for Cosmic. Scythe is going to be playing in with the rest of the team, CG and No Mansion. What a way to start it out, finding one on the board.
Immediately, kickoff goes the way of St. Clair, but it's actually going to be ISU who are able to get the first touch. And now here we go, it's Arju, sat in a little bit of a 2v1, but it's okay. He deals with it quite well. Jazzy has a double demo, and this should open up a passing lane, but no, Zai just a little bit off on the pre-jump.
Yeah, and it's moments like that that we have to account for and that we have to notice is that on those transitions, on those intercepts, on those connecting moments where they try to make a passing play, they've been a little lackluster right now. They've been a little slow to it. I saw that all throughout the last CRL Open, and it's showing a little bit here, but correct me if I'm wrong, Sai is going to deny anything that I just said and put one right in the net.
Well, here's the thing. When it comes to St. Clair Green, they are so offensively sound. Zai able to find the double. CG just can't quite read the backboard and clear it out. And when you leave Zai an open backboard, he is sure to make you pay for that chance.
Yeah, I mean, when you have star players that can perform like that, it doesn't really matter too much about connecting, but it does when you have players like Illinois State who can connect. Then you have to start dealing with that. Jazzy up to the ball now, tries to get over one, gets it down, trying to get it past another, cannot find it, up to the ball again, finds a shot, but No Mansion is there for the save. Now Sai has to recover, has to be on this ball, but No Mansion is there, doesn't have a lot of boost though. Arju is there to help out as well, getting a little bit of a bump out, but now he's going to leave it for Sai, who has nothing in the tank, and is just there to cause some mayhem.
But if 50 is a good play, it's going to leave Arju to pass one up there, and now he's going to be able to take control, has the pass, but no, gets picked off very early. And right now, it was St. Clair who had ISU on the back foot for a little moment, but now all of a sudden ISU, they're coming back, they're showing some aggression. Sai on a 2v1, sets up the play. Jazzy with one touch, can he find the double? Yes, he can, but it's just off target. And No Mansion played a good job supporting his teammates in the back end, gets the clear.
They have to get back in the defense now, and Jazzy was in a little bit of an awkward situation. Now Arju has to be the defensive man. Gets it past one, but no, the shot is on, but it's almost in, and it hits the sidebar. As now Jazzy is there, Sai is there to make the save out, and he gets the shot off of Arju. What a way to put it in the net.
Well, it's just a little bit of an overcommit here. CG just gets absolutely dusted, and just there's no one back. In No Mansion, he's a little too slow to get to that near post, and even then, the shot was already on target. Arju able to slot one in as well. Saints take the lead, 3 minutes left.
Do my eyes deceive me? How did Arju touch that? I didn't see anything there. That should have been Sai's goal 100% of the day, but nonetheless, Saints are 2 up now to the 1 on Illinois State's side. They have to come back now. Almost half of the game has gone now, and they still have a lot left to work with. CG on the ball, doesn't have any boost, and now Sai doesn't have any boost himself, and has to bang it out to where Arju is on the backboard and ready. Takes it up, trying to get it past No Mansion, but he's too quick with it, and gets it down to CG. Now to the corner, trying to bring it out for one of his teammates, but no, gets cleared out by Jazzy, and now Arju in the back end of Illinois and trying to get it net. Jazzy is there to support him with a demo, and now Sai is under the ball net with a shot, tries to get it in, tries to get it off the other tap from CG's defense, but cannot make it, and No Mansion is there to pass it to CG in the air, tries to find another, he does, finds one, finds two, but no, Jazzy is there for the save midair.
And immediately, I was very scared of that ball coming off the backboard, but it seems like it was going to be Arju to put it down, or was that Jazzy? It doesn't even matter, Arju's with the passing play, and Zai, that 1-2 link up is absolutely unstoppable. It seems like right now, we've seen it a couple of times, that's the second goal there, where we have seen ISU a little slow to rotate on 0 boost with their defenders, and it's starting to become a topic, it's starting to become a trend that the Saints have punished them for the last 2 goals.
2 minutes left. A little bit left in time, but they'd still have to make the most of it unless Arju is there to answer back. An attempted double tap, but doesn't have enough boost to put it in the net. Now Sai is up, doesn't have any boost himself, and Jazzy's close to follow, but he misses it completely. And now Arju has to get back close, find a demo onto No Mansion, but now they have to be put on the defensive end, where Sai is into the air, finds it over Scythe, and now he's just flying down back to his own end. CG's picked up 100 in the mid, but they have to play the defensive end because Jazzy is there. No, Arju is there, my apologies. And he's ready there, trying to find an opportunity for his teammate. Passes down, but no, Sai does not find anything. And now Arju's supposed to follow as well. And now Jazzy is the only one left. No Mansion tries to put it on the net, but cannot find it. Now CG is up to it close, but Sai makes a beautiful save.
And we'll see No Mansion. That's a big jump right there because right now you are leaving, I was going to say Scythe back with no one else to defend on low boost. It's the same thing. The Saints, they almost made him pay for the third time. Now CG, reset of zone, has a pass in the middle, but no one there. It's going to be Jazzy or Arju who beats one out and finds the 50 as well. It's going to be Jazzy, lays one up to Zai. I believe has a reset off the roof, but he opts to let it go. Arju dives in, and all of a sudden Arju's in a perfect spot for a redirect off the backboard! Are you kidding me? I had it read out. I saw it. I want to say that. Why? Because I'm not going to lie. The second I saw Jazzy put that pass, it was like having a dish served to you on a silver platter. Arju was never going to let that one get away from him. And all of a sudden, with a minute left, the Saints have a safety net of 3.
The Italian Stallion leading the charge for the rest of his team. Now Sai is looking to bring a lot of puff as well. Tries to find it down to Jazzy, but no, it's Arju in the mid to find another one on the scoreboard. 1-2 back-to-back for the Italian himself. What a way.
I was going to say, this one's getting away from ISU. And I think the reason being is because now, when you're down by 3 with under a minute left, you got to throw all your eggs in the basket. You're not worried really about defensive rotations. You need to win the ball and you need to take possession. This is going to be a good one for a kickoff, but no, just saved out by Jazzy. Gets back in time. A missed shot, actually, just a little bit high, and that's not what you want to see from ISU. Scythe with a good win on the 50, but he's not going to be able to reach Al in time. Jazzy would be able to beat him out, so No Mansion has to go up instead. Zai went off the backboard, has the Psycho Touch to just get the pass down to Arju. It's not very far, but it's all that matters is the clear. St. Clair, they only have to play for time burn, but right now it looks like they're just opting to stay on the aggressive attack. It's going to be Scythe that tries to find a pass out, but with 15 seconds left, Wyatt, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to say it right now, this one is all she wrote.
It is all she wrote. 10 seconds down now. 4 goals down. It doesn't seem probable for Illinois State to take this first one. So put it under your shoulder. Put it behind you now. Give yourself a pat on the back. You had a stellar performance, but the Saints just outperformed you. And they're going to take their first one now. And what a way for Arju to lead the tribe there. I mean, 2 goals back to back and an insane redirect off the side of the post. What a way to put in the net.
Yeah, I mean, again, you can say that all day long because it's true. Arju, you know, great performance by him. But I think someone in that game who was not talked about a whole lot of, but I want to actually highlight what he did for the team, was Jazzy there. And when I say that, I mean it's because Jazzy was on a very disruptive role. I saw him getting multiple demos, multiple boost steals while rotating back. And that's really what disrupted ISU. It's why we saw so many times the defenders have little to no boost, especially when coming back onto transition. That boost still hadn't have spawned in. You might be realizing, well, Patrick, why is that? It's because Jazzy was getting the boost steals before ISU could advance. So what would happen is their attacks would be slow leading up. They'd be easy for St. Clair to clear and deal with, and that's why ISU were so late on so many of their rotations. Jazzy playing an ultra-aggressive, disruptive role, and it helped out brilliantly. It was Arju, Zai, they were linking up back to back. It didn't even look like it mattered. So you see Jazzy right there. I get it. You know what? On the stat sheet, sure, it's a little bit underwhelming. Only 1 assist, only 1 save. But the stats that don't show up on our stat sheet, they also matter. And I want to just point that out and highlight Jazzy for what he did to enable those attacks from St. Clair.
You need to make a mental note for production to add some demos into there, but that's for another time, another day, another cast. Right now, we're back into it. Game 2 now. Let's see if Illinois can answer back, unless Jazzy and Arju and Sai have anything to say about it. Looks like the ball is in their court now, but Jazzy is on to it. Back to him now. Sai is there to try and get it over. Sai gets a little predictive, a little pre-jumpy right there. Tries to go for something a little preemptively, doesn't get it right with the ball, but now he's there. Try to take it to CG, to have it to his corner, but Arju is there to get it back into play. And now now helping out No Mansion is now, well, Sai is in the corner trying to give it to his teammate, but no, actually misses it and disrupts Arju's play where he could have put it on net.
Wow, I was going to say that's a good demo from Zai there onto site, but it was looking really close for the Saints. But now this is where Illinois, they have to get tested. Your defense, and that double should be on for Arju. Flips into it as well. Absolutely brilliant job there from Arju to set it up. I believe it was Jazzy who also got the assist. So great work there from Arju and Jazzy. And just in case the rebound's out, you have Zai on a full tank, ready to intercept the lane before Illinois State can clear out.
I need to go to Google Translate and I need to know how you say demon in Italian, because that is what Arju is right now. He's an absolute demon. He's put on 2 double taps and a couple other amazing shots to note about in these whole games, and I think it's just been a stellar from him so far, and the rest of the team has also been there, but now Illinois State, they got to deal with that. They got to deal with Arju's aggressive playstyle, and they got to try to combat it. CG might be looking to start it to pass it up to No Mansion, but he doesn't have any boost to play with, and now they're in their back end. Sai, off of a little bit of boost, tries to put something on. No Mansion puts a shot on out, nothing, and it might just roll in, and it does, and No Mansion finds the equalizer.
I was about to make a point. Illinois State, they were running low on boost, and it's because I saw Jazzy stealing boosts in their end again, but he's going to have 0 on the way back, and he's not able to get the clear. A little bit of a routine one just gone to waste. The Saints, definitely a little bit of an unlucky stroke, and right now, ISU, they find what they need to tie it back up.
They do. Arju's playing around a little bit in the air, and Sai gets a shot on, and he also finds the goal, most like definitely from the demo that was on Sai.
Yeah, absolutely. No Mansion hunting in the back, and he's going to find Zai. There's no one back there to help out, and why would there be? It was such a quick turnaround. Saints, they couldn't rotate back fast enough to account for the demolition. It's a great job of noticing that from ISU. They take advantage. They take the lead.
I think ISU are trying to understand right now that when they let the Saints get a little bit more speed and they let the game go on too quickly, that's a bad no-no for them. They cannot let them get up to full speed, and they have to try and get those quick goals off of kickoffs, which is what we just saw. And now they have a little bit of time here, but the Saints are starting to ramp up, but No Mansion doesn't have anything to think about. He tries to get it on net. He gets it in front, but Sai is there for the save. Now keeping it on their side. CG goes up but misses it and leaves it for Arju to pass it all the way down. And now No Mansion has to make a save, has to get it out of their control. Gets one touch, gets another, but now Jazzy is there to pass it down to Arju. Arju finds it over Scythe, tries to find it over CG, but CG is there on the backboard. And now Sai is up, or Jazzy is up as well, trying to get it outside. Just makes a barely close save on that, and now CG's gonna dem outside. Arju puts another one on the shot, but Scythe, an absolute menace, defending his goalpost with his life.
I mean, squishy save there from Scythe, but will it even matter? The unfortunate pinch, it's in the corner. Jazzy just had the perfect touch on the 50 to find it go through. Arju with the pass to set it up, but the Saints definitely getting a little bit lucky on that one. It's in their favor. It ties it all up with just under half the game left.
It's unlucky moments like that that you cannot predict. You have to just try to react in the moment, and they couldn't react fast enough, and now Saints have equalized it 2-2, and Arju is on the ball, trying to pass it down to Sai, finds a little bit of an awkward touch there, tries to find it over one. Jazzy's up next, but gets beaten out by No Mansion. He tries to get on the ball yet again, but gets beaten out by Sai, and now he doesn't have any boost either, and it's all up to Jazzy and Arju on the defense. Arju tries to get it past one, he does, and then sends it all the way down to the other end, where Sai is ready. He's picked up the boost, he's going for a flip reset, finds one, tries to find it past the other, he does, but no, Scythe again is there for a save. I mean, what a absolute super sub coming out from him right now.
He's definitely playing good, but the game is not over. A minute 39 left to go, and it's still St. Clair who are deep in the end of Illinois State, and right now, Illinois, they have to clear out. They've done a good job of doing that. This beat could come through, and that shot might be lethal. No, just off the side. Jazzy, take your time here. You have a flip to work into, and you can try to go for a bump and maybe try to free up a shooting lane. Zai gonna be the next one to challenge. Has to force a good 50 to force it into the middle here, but it's gonna get picked off by No Mansion. Carrying it down, decent 50, should set up for CG, and all of a sudden, a pass goes through. The 50 comes out from Zai, but who's gonna be able to guard the shot? There it is, and Jazzy, stellar backboard defense, stays composed.
Doesn't find that second touch though, and allows No Mansion to keep it in the mid. Now, Sai is up to it next, has a little bit of boost to play with, comes off of the ceiling, tries to find it onto the ball, but No Mansion is there to pop it up. And now Arch is going to pop it down to Sai, who might not be quick enough with it, has to find another tap, up to Jazzy, who dunks it down like the James man himself. swishing it into the net.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing you can do to stop this. No Mansion and CG, they're just too late. No Mansion's still trying to rotate up. CG says, okay, I got it, but he's not accounting for the speed that Jazzy has off that aerial. Saints, they take the lead with under a minute left, and things are looking dire very quickly for Illinois State.
Yeah, the ball is right now on the St. Clair Saint side. They might
Shot.
find a shot, and they find the goal. I mean, what kind of kickoff strategy was that?
Both teams faked. CG was the first one to cheat up, and immediately there's no one back to deal with it. Arju, he's deep in the net. He tried to maybe go for the squishy attempt off of the fact that the first shot didn't go in. It was crossbar down, but it was just well placed from Scythe, and Arju couldn't get there in time. Switching up the tempo, it happens again. 40 seconds left, and all of a sudden St. Clair, they respond very quickly. No Mansion fakes it out, was gonna try the exact same thing. The Saints see right through it, beating the cheat, and all of a sudden they have their lead back.
It seems like those last 5 seconds didn't even matter. It seems like they're still at the same deficit. Saints are up 1 goal, and with 30 seconds now counting down, Illinois State have to find something else to put on the net. They might find one now, but no Sai is there for the save, and also gets a demo onto No Mansion, and CG is up to it next to try and create some chaos, but both attackers now from Illinois do not have any boost to play with, and they've got to get back now to play on the defensive end, because Sai is coming for your net, he's coming for the goal, and he doesn't find anything just yet, because CG is there to defend it, finds it under Arju, and now it's bounced up again. Sai up to it, finds one tap, tries to find another, finds it over Jazzy, doesn't find over Sino, and now it's just resting in the net, and Arju is there to make a crucial save all the way down, and now Sai finds a goal. 2 goals up, 3 seconds left. The math isn't mathing, Patrick.
Yeah, again, when you're down by 1 and you don't have that much time left, you have to send it all out. St. Clair, they're able to capitalize on the overextension, on the overcommit from ISU, and they're gonna put this one in the books unless a goal happens right here, which it's a great pass, but CG can't get the shot on, and even then, the clock went down to 0. It was all over. Saints 2-0 lead in the series, and they're looking pretty damn good doing it.
I mean, yeah, and Arju to come out of the first game onto the second one with a double tap of his own. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna expect a lot more from him out in these next couple of games, because I think he's just gonna keep that consistency, and with the rest of the team as well. But then I think a rising and shining star we haven't yet mentioned is Scythe. I mean, he got at least 3 saves in that last game, which was crucial for his team to deny people like Arju and Sai those goals to their scoreboard. And I mean, what a stellar way to do it. The super sub coming in, as I said before.
Yeah, again, he's fitting into the system well. I know they haven't technically won a game, but Scythe has been someone who's consistently there on defense to deal with some of these attacks that the Saints are putting up. I know we don't necessarily have shot numbers, but I can imagine right now, St. Clair, if you were to take the series and compare it, probably have at least 2 times the amount of shots. They're definitely doubling, at least in the amount of attacks they're generating. And Scythe is someone who's always there, has 2 goals, has 3 saves himself, looking very comfortable for ISU. Right now, definitely, if I were to say it, I even might go as far to say Scythe, I'm probably the most impressed with tonight out of all 3 of those ISU players.
And I mean, yeah, they're not dead in the water yet, but they're very close to fighting themselves drowned in this game. One more game to the Saints, and they will close it out for tonight. But let's see if ISU can answer back. The Redbirds looking to lead it off hot. Scythe is on the ball, tries to find a pinch onto the ground, but is denied by Sai. And now he's following up the ball, trying to find it to Jazzy, but Jazzy's just a little too high with it and hits the enemy post. Now passing it back out to CG, who has it up to Jazzy in the air, tries to find it past one. He does, finds Sai, finds the shot, but doesn't find the goal, and now they have to back up and grab some boost because No Mansion is coming. He's banging it out, and Arju has to make a risky save to the backboard and has to try and make it yet again, and doesn't have any boost now to play with his tank.
But it doesn't matter because he has the backboard composure to realize he can't get off there just yet. He has to stay composed and deal with the second one. Sai, a beautiful 50, one of the best you'll ever be able to get in that position, but he can't make the second challenge. Jazzy a little bit awkward off his own corner, but he deals with it just fine, should have help now, and there it is. Sai has the bump as well, stole the mid boost. Sai looking for a pass down. Is Arju there? No, not quite. Elects to stay back, as I believe Illinois State, I thought, should have had the clear, and there it is. CG able to put one down. They start an attack of their own.
Yeah, now Scythe is up to it again. Our star player coming up from nowhere tries to get a quick double tap, but is denied by Sai, and now tries to follow it up, but no Mansion is there. And time again, both attackers, two attackers on the side of Illinois State, are on 0 boost. It seems like they love to be in this position. They're just in this so many times, and now they're keeping it on the same side. They're using all their boost to get down there and keep the ball down there, but it's not allowing them to open up any opportunities on the net.
I think the problem is you don't have any boost, you can't generate any speed, you're not getting any demos or any bumps to really jar the Saints loose or find a gap when the Saints are on defense. And right now, St. Clair, they're taking full advantage of it. They have all these players back with full boost. They're not going to mess up a 50 at that skill level. The shot comes through, just sneaks past from Illinois State. Jazzy, the one to put it in. St. Clair, they find their lead early. And again, look at the boost numbers for Illinois State. Zilch, nada. There is nothing for the defense. And St. Clair, they're taking advantage.
I mean, that talks about what you mentioned before. The rotation is definitely not working for Illinois State, and it seems to be working for St. Clair Saints right now, even though it may not be better against other teams. But hold on a minute, Sai's just going to get another goal. I can't even finish my point.
Yeah, this is just absolutely what you want to see from St. Clair. It's Jazzy again. I noted it before. He's been on that ultra aggressive role, whether it's boost steals, bumps, demos, and he makes one count right there. It opens up the lane completely. Illinois State, they think they have an attack going for them, but it just goes directly the opposite way, and that has to be a mental chopper for sure.
Yeah, no Mansion finds it over side, but can't find it over Jazzy, and now Archer trying to fly in to make a super save there, but no! Is gonna find CG there, ready in the mid to put a shot on net and find the first goal for Illinois State in this game 3.
And one that they most desperately needed, Jazzy just rushes it, dives a little too, I guess, early is the word you could use for it, or late, depending on how you want to put it there. I feel like Jazzy, maybe you would think backboard defense, but the net's wide open, so maybe the low shot, you can't just let Illinois State have that open net. You're better off challenging and hoping that they can't keep their composure. But regardless of what you want to say, just down by 1, St. Clair, they have to watch out on offense. Illinois State can definitely make things work if you're not back and ready.
Now up to it again, CG pops down and get it over 1, finds it over Arju, but Arju finds a neat little hit right there to keep it out of their possession, and now it's up to Jazzy, gets 50 out from no man, she passes down to CG, and finds the second one for the Redbirds, and now they've tied it all up. And the silent night of CG has started to awaken in this match.
I feel like No Mansion right now is waking up a little more when it comes to passing. That's 2 straight right there where he's been able to link up with his teammate CG. And right now, Illinois State, they're looking very clean. All of a sudden, the tempo has flipped. St. Clair, what are you going to do to change it up? They've found gaps in your rotation where they've utilized having an open net twice. Something we were talking about before the show went on. So, again, Illinois State, they may have figured out the Saints, but even then, they're still 0-2 down in the series. Is it too little? Is it too late? Who knows? But you got to take it one game at a time. And St. Clair, they want to put this one away for sure. Don't let ISU get momentum. That's their goal.
Less than 2 minutes left. Arju on the ball, gets a foot resets! And slots it in the net! 3-2! What a way to take the lead.
I mean, this is just absolutely incredible stuff. Off the ceiling double as well. Arju finds the reset just over the ISU defender. I believe it was CG. No chance was getting to that. Already committed off the backboard. There's not really much you can do.
Not against a player like Arju, who has just been stellar this entire game and has been putting numbers to his name, and the reason why Saints have picked him up for this roster. And it's been working for them through NACE and through CR. Well, we mentioned those top 4 finishes are notable and admirable, but now they've got to deal with Illinois State, and they got to deal with No Mansion, who's just going to play it a little slow and a little controlled and get it right past both defenders.
Well, you know what, No Mansion, how about we just go ahead and say that GA is where you shine, because you've been involved in all 3 goals. And again, I think that No Mansion, he was a player who was kind of sleeping a little bit earlier, but he's definitely woken up now and is showing clear signs that ISU can definitely climb their way back into this series. All tied up, a minute left to go. Who takes it? Yet to find out.
They're not finished just yet. They have more fight in them, and now as we hit 1 minute, it looks like Saints have also got some fight in them, and Sai leads the charge up a great pass from Arju, and now Jazzy is up to it, trying to find someone in the mid. Arju is there, but he's a little far back and has to play for a defensive controlled touch. Tries to find it past No Mansion, but he's there yet again with 0 boost. No Mansion just loves to have that empty tank on him, makes him a little quicker to the ball, and now Sai is up next to it, trying to find some controlled passes, but no Sai is there to intercept. intercept, and now tries to find it to Jazzy, but doesn't find any connection there because it's blocked out by No Mansion, and now Illinois State are on the aggressive push.
Well, they've got to watch out right now, Syke. You can't commit to this. You have a good 50, but Zai's going to be able to get it past you. Takes on another defender. Arju has maybe a double read into a pass. Hopefully it's going to be popped back up. Maybe a bump. Can Jazzy find one? He had the reset for a reset double, but it didn't happen. Cleared out very quickly from ISU. The pass back mid. It's the Saints. They're all in ISU's end, and they're trying to see if they can break through, find the goal that can just clinch this series, send ISU packing at least for this NACE week. But no, it's going to be ISU. They're still on the ball right now. Saints, if you're in this position, I honestly think with boost numbers, you would not want to force OT. Jazzy, he has a pass down the dunk, but no, can't keep it up. And ladies and gentlemen, we have overtime.
My favorite word in the entirety of esports. Illinois State are on the back foot. Will they be sent off of Championships Field 3-0'd by the Saints, or will Saints be able to close it out quickly here? Jazzy trying to fulfill that prophecy, and now Sai is close up to it as well, trying to find a pass out to one of his teammates who has boost, finds it to Jazzy, and now Jazzy pops it over one, pops it over a second, but no, Sai is able to find a touch there to disable his pass, and now Arju tries to find it to someone, but no Mansion is there, passing it up to CG, it's all up to Jazzy, Jazzy finds a touch, finds another one to the nice CJ, any kind of control there. Now Sai has to get there to keep it out of No Mansion's hands. Arju finding a little bit of an uncontrolled landing there, and now doesn't have a lot of boost left. Illinois State are putting on the aggression, and CG and No Mansion are the ones leading the charge.
Well, right now, St. Clair, I'm not going to lie, they kind of look awkward on defense. We're seeing them kind of double commit and stay both on the same side. There's no one really rotating back post, and right now, it's meaning that beats are all that more formidable for ISU. Arju, good job just staying composed, but No Mansion slots it back into the corner. Jazzy, a huge pop. This will allow St. Clair to really determine more position, unless you just want to beat on the 50. The shot comes through, but it's not fast enough. An easy save for CG.
CG with the ball now, tries to find it past Arju in the air too quick, and now trying to find the shot. He does, but Arju and Jazzy are there for the save. No Mansion is back in the air now, finds it to CG, finds it on the backboard, but no, Arju is there, tries to find another touch, doesn't read it just perfectly, but finds it from the ground, finds it to Sai, pops it up, Sai isn't there, tries to find the shot, doesn't have it, now Jazzy is there as well. All of the Illinois State defenders are in their net, trying to get it out of their side, but St. Clair Saints are laying down the law.
They are, but right now you gotta look at the boost numbers. Soon some are going to get low, and what are you gonna do then? A pinch is actually gonna force a St. Clair double commit. That's not good. The net's wide open, no sight. Just trying to send it up high. Maybe a pass down to No Mansion. The shot, no! Can this one be found? No, CG! You're gonna really want that one back. And St. Clair, they get away by the skin of their teeth.
Mere pixels from sending this to a game 4, and they're still holding on. 2 minutes into overtime, and Illinois State have still found the ground, and St. Clair are starting to look a little concerned on the defensive end. I mentioned that before, and so did you. They don't have a lot of people who are too comfortable there. They're more comfortable on the attack, and it looks like they are showing it. They're bringing the effort, and they're bringing the force to Illinois State. Now Arju passing it back to Jazzy, who's in the air, finds it over one, tries to find it past another, but no Mansion is there to intercept, and now Arju has to be there to take it back onto their side, keep the aggression up, tries to find over No Mansion, he does! And finds their 4th goal! The 3-0 to the Saints, and Arju, the Italian stallion, to close it out.
I immediately noted that the defender for ISU, 0 boost in the one-on-one versus Arju. That's never a place you want to be. And St. Clair, they closed it out in sweeping fashion.
I mean, what did I say? Get me Google Translate. Figure out how I can say absolute demon in Italian, because that is what Arju was. He was incredible on that field. He was putting up assists. He was putting up interceptions. He was putting up shots and goals on the net, and that is what helped the entire team. And then, like you said, I've also got to mention Jazzy as well. He was great at stealing boost. He was great at getting demos, and he was great at disrupting the rotation of ISU.
Yeah, I think that's how you can put it perfectly. Jazzy did a great job of filling in that disruptive role. He always had ISU either for a threat of bump, having to reposition. They were always having to account for him lurking in the back foot. And that was not really something that I feel like we saw ISU do on the other end enough of, at least to get themselves back into the series. We saw glimpses of shots going through because of stuff like that, because of having to mess up Saints rotations and Saints positioning on defense, but it happened just a little too late in the series for my liking if ISU wanted to get back into it. That's just kind of how it breaks down. That's all it is. And I think that for St. Clair, all three players were definitely tapped in, locked in on the offensive side of the ball. And you can concede goals. St. Clair, we were seeing them drop some, especially in that last game 3, but it doesn't matter if you can just score more. And that's something they've never had a problem doing.
No, they never had. Never indeed. And I think ISU, Admiral, as they did play, they put up a good fight for the Saints. We
Absolutely.
saw that first game was definitely more in their favor. It was 5-1. But then the last two, they've only been won by a mere single goal. And that last one, going to what I would assume would be like 2.5 to 3 minutes of overtime, was a great fight for them and definitely showed that when they don't have their full roster and they've got substitutes like Scythe, they can put it on the net and they can perform absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And, soon we might have, an interview coming up. But even regardless of if we do or don't, I really have to go ahead and say St. Clair, they did a phenomenal job. I want to see what those stats were looking like in Game 3. But again, I think when it comes to an MVP of the series, you got to say Arju was definitely the man for the job.
I mean, yeah, I don't know how many times you have to hear me say the Italian Stallion, and he was absolutely amazing on that game, getting a lot of double taps, providing a lot of value for his team, and I mean, what a way to show it. Now they've won 3-0, a pats on the back. I mean, after CRL, it was great, and now they've gotten even better.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's see. Let's have the reveal of who our MVP is going to be. And there it is. As it gets revealed, it's going to be Arju in the series. 6 goals, 4 assists on 10 shots, a clinical finisher in his own right. And, I mean, doing just stuff from all aspects of the offensive side of the field, was setting up for passes, was setting up for goals, and he was in perfect positions when it came to shooting. And speaking of which, we got the man here for an interview. Arju, how you doing, man? That was a great series. Watch your hand. Don't
Okay,
worry about
sorry.
the table. You're all good. That was an absolutely incredible series.
Closer?
You
Okay.
played
sorry.
great.
Yep.
Honestly, ISU, we said that they got into the series a little bit later into it, but by that time it was a little too late. I feel like something they did good was messing up St. Clair's positioning on defenses. We saw sometimes that there were less people on back post. Sometimes there were double commits on near post, and it would allow for some problematic attacks that you had to deal with. But at the end of the day, I feel like something you guys did good to counter that was whenever balls went high, you guys were always on your backboard defense, always staying composed, making sure that after that first attempt, you were always ready for the second shot and follow up. How do you stay like that? How do you get composed like that? Is it the communications? Is it just what's ingrained in you? Tell us what it's about.
I mean, I think in general it's just all about comms. Comms are really important, especially on a team that tries to disrupt like your rotation. So bumps, like random touches, just to beat you to the ball. I think comms are really important. But then at the end of the day, I think we're just better. So like if you just beat them to the ball, eventually you just win the game. I think the individual skill is just like every player on our team is better than them. So if you don't give them chances to score, they won't score, and you'll just win the game. And I think that showed as well.
Yeah, I think one more thing I want to add on here is someone who I wanted to make sure got their shine in. Well, it wasn't really stats that were going up on the board, the scoreboard, was Jazzy. Someone who was a little more, aggressive. We saw him getting multiple boost steals that resulted in ISU defenders having really nothing when it came to St. Clair, you and Zai setting up for attacks. We saw demos going through here and there, and especially bumps that led up to key moments in creating shooting lanes, right? How effective is it that you can have a teammate like that, or any three of you who can lock into that role, who can open for the other two and create those offenses to go smoothly?
Yeah, I think in general we don't have that much of like defined roles as a team.
Yeah.
But I think what you said about Jazzy is correct. Like he's kind of just like always like disrupting the other team, enabling me and Nico to just like do our own thing. I think he does it really well. Obviously, like at times it depends like who's playing the best on the day. I think it shows. Sometimes it's me, like I'll let them do their thing. Sometimes it's Nico as well. So I think it's a good thing that everyone can enable their teammates.
I mean, yeah, it was definitely you today, putting on a couple great shots there. We saw your double tap from the side, and we saw a couple on the top as well. And we did see you enabling a lot of moments for the rest of your team, and definitely in CRL as well. That's what you do so beautifully is, while you may not be the best on defense, and you guys may not have the best defined roles, you guys are great at opening up opportunities for each other and just playing that supportive role to each other. Now, one question that I want to ask you, and it may not be related to Rocket League, how do you say demon in Italian?
Demon in Italian?
Yes, like
Oh, okay.
demon, like
Or like just demone?
Demone, because you
Yeah.
were a demone in that game. You were an absolute demone in that game.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I think all in all, very impressive stuff from what we saw from you guys. And I think so far, just clicking with the team throughout this first semester, you guys have been an absolute joy to watch. What can we expect from you guys throughout the rest of the season?
I mean, I think obviously we started the season with a win during obviously the first event. I think now we're not playing too good, but we're trying to get better and like, maybe like win some more.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's just all the game plan is. And I mean,
Yeah.
like you said, for most of these teams, if you just beat into the ball, you believe you're
Yeah,
better on
yeah,
the
yeah.
day. Rocket League, I like to think it's a game that's really more 70% mental. The
Yeah.
mental is everything. And I think you guys, whether it's taking teams through sweeps or making comebacks, you guys have an absolutely great mental so far. At least it looks like that on the pitch because you guys don't lose very much.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming
Okay.
on for this interview. You've been
Thank you.
absolutely great. Have a nice night off. And
Thank
have
you
a
for the
good night.
questions.
Thank you, Ardrew.
What an interview. What an absolute stellar player. And hey, I figured out how to say it in Italian. Demone. He was an absolute demone. And that's all I need to know for the night. And now, Patrick, I think it's time you and me also hit Betty bye. I think we're going to close it out for here. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I mean, I wish we had more Rocket League to cast, but you know what? Can I complain? No, Saints win. That's a good day in my books, and we just want to give a special thank you to our sponsors, Alienware, SRC, the SEC alumni, Tim Hortons, and Subway for giving us the funds to do what we can do. And special thanks to everyone in the back room as well. Special thanks to Adrian, who I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is just picking up everything for St. Clair right now for tonight. So Adrian, big shout out to you. Big shout out to Yusuf as well. And big shout out to you, Wyatt, because me and Wyatt have been practicing casting Rocket League behind the scenes for a little while now. It was about time that we got on the same desk as each other, and I gotta say, for first series, it was an absolute hell of a ride, man. Thank you so much. And any final words from you before we close out tonight?
I mean, hey, save the glazing for when I take you out to dinner. Save it for after the cast. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That has been myself, Wyatt Swag Studios Rapson, joined with my lovely co-host, Patrick Smoke Chambers. We will see you guys later in the week with some more Saints Nation action. But for now, have a good night.